as I met George, I was standing out of, again, that was another kind of a vibration, standing on the parvis outside Notre Dame. And I was reading at the American University my poems in the American church, and I had put the pamphlets out because I was collecting for Médecins Sans Frontières, Doctors Without Borders. I was collecting money with my poems, and I was looking, and suddenly I had this tremendous vibration of a magnet pulling me backwards. I'm standing like this and going backwards. So I crossed the bridge over the Seine and the little park, you know, Parc Vivendi, and then came to this little shop, and a Shakespeare and Company, a little shop tucked in the corner. And I saw in the window poetry readings on a Monday night, 7 to 8. I thought, oh, this is for me. And I had my satchel there with my poems inside. So I go into the shop and I chatted to the servers, and I said, well, who's the head? He says, sitting at the desk, it's George Whitman, that's him, he's a man with a beard. I went on. Good afternoon, Mr. Whitman. I just saw your ad in the advertisement in the window, and poetry readings. I'm a poet and I would love to have a reading. I'm doing work with Doctors Without Borders. Are you published? Well, I said, I had some work published in Canada, yes. Published. No great book or anything. Yes, I'm published. So I said, here's I've just been sending pamphlets outside Notre Dame because I'm going to, inside Notre Dame because I'm going to do a reading. He said, well, okay. So he said, go and read a book. Come back in, well, half an hour. I said, I haven't really got half an hour, and I was rushed for time. So I went, wandered off and read a couple of poems, and then I came back quicker than I should have, I suppose. I think he had read a poem, I'm not sure. He had the thing there. And he looked at me and he said, well, what's your name? I said, well, Ockney Oting. Ockney? Where did you get that from? It sounds as if you got an attack of acne. That's my meeting with George. So when I changed my name to Panmelys, he was delighted. He said, that sounds a bit more feminine. Yeah, and that very day he said, can you stay around and go and tell the tumbleweeds, because I didn't know, but he said the people upstairs, they need to see how to work the stove and things upstairs. I said, well, no, George, I'm really very busy, but I can come back tomorrow if you like. I think it was a Friday. So he said, fine. So he said, give her a reading next Monday night. I said, oh my God, next Monday night, I'll never be able to arrange a meeting, you know. So I said, oh, George, I need at least, a couple of weeks. Take it or leave it. So I took it. And then I ended up being the permanent housekeeper and bookkeeper and cashier and God knows what. He gave me the keys. He said, I'm off now for 1 week and you have to look after the shop. I've never looked after a shop in my life. I've got 3 children and a home. He said, you can manage. And he went off. You had to cope. I'm not the only one. One woman, he did it and he said, I'm going off for 2 months. I mean, he ended up going off, I don't know. So that was George. He just was very erratic, he kind of did things that came into his mind. But underneath it all, he was somehow calculating. I had the idea that he knew exactly what he was doing. George loved his seat in front of the door with all his ancient machines that he picked up on the Marshall Plus. He goes to buy all these things that never worked. Anyway, when I worked, when I looked after the shop, I just gave it up. I just put everything on a piece of paper, put the money in the till, and voila, it worked. But I said, George, you're going to have to use that machine yourself and put it all on. That's it. That's a part of his story. It's certainly not the all part of the story. And nobody would catch George. He was a sunbeam.